Hello everyone, আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগতম জানাই আমাদের গুরুকুল অনলাইন লার্নিং নেটওয়ার্কে। I'm Solika Aktar. Today we'll be having a lesson on English for today from class 9-10. And our today's lesson will be lesson 1 from unit 1. The title of unit 1 is Good Citizens and the lesson we will be studying is Can You Live Alone? So let's see what we'll be studying from this lesson and what we will learn. The things we will learn from this lesson is first, story reading. We will learn that how we can read a story. The second thing we will learn is if human can be a social being or humans are social being. How human plays a role in a society, we will learn that after our lesson. Also, we will learn a very fun thing. That is how we can interpret a visual text. We will try to interpret a visual text, like interpreting a photo or anything fun like that. So let's see and let's start. First, we will go to the text that we have in our book. So let's start reading it. Long ago, a young man who lived in a village found his life full of problems and sufferings. Quarrels, ill feelings, jealousy, enmity, all were part of everyday life there. So he left his house and went to a jungle to live by himself. There he made a nice little hut with wood, bamboo and reeds. "Ah, how happy I am here," said the man to himself. See where the story starts. Here is a man who is frustrated to his surroundings. He can't just take any kind of negative energy around him. That's why he decided that he will go far from the society and will live alone, without any people, without any shoutings, without any negative things. So that's why he has just taken his decision that he will not be here. He will live far from this peacefully. See, there is our story starts. So let's see where it goes. But before going to the next part of the story, have you find any word difficult to understand? Like sufferings? Do you know what does sufferings mean? Okay, let me just take a look at it. Sufferings mean the hurdles or the difficulties, hardships that we face in our day-to-day life. There are so many problems we face and that might make our time very hard. This is the time we use this word sufferings. So difficulties, hardships. Also, did you know the meaning of quarrels? Most of the time we use this word in Bangla, jhagda jhati. We can see many of the people having this violence and aggressiveness towards each against. We can call it simply quarreling. Again, have you known the meaning jealousy? Jealousy is something that we call envy at each other. So it's like not being happy at others' success or happiness. Just, don't like that people around you are being more successful or being more happy. Sometimes we just don't get to like it. So some people are there who are very jealous at other people's success. Again, have you known the word enmity? This is what we call hostility or being foe with any other. Probably we are very familiar with the word enemies. The noun or the relationship between enemies can be called enmity. Also, did you know about reeds? We generally call it khor in Bangla. That means the leftover from the paddy plants. So, see again in the text that we have these words in our text. So, I hope that the meanings are clear to you right now and we can move to the next of the story. So, but one day he found some mice in his hut. The little creatures soon made holes in the blanket. So, he brought a cat to kill the mice. The cat needed milk. So, he brought a cow. The cow needed grass and hay. So, he brought a cow hand. The cowhand needed food, so he took a wife to cook meals. Then children were born to them, and the man found himself again in a family. So see, the man who just wanted to have a peaceful life without any kind of human relationship, any kind of human interaction, or any kind of social disturbance, that man himself again find a society by himself. How come? Because he find mice in his heart. He just wanted to get rid of those mice. Then he brought a cat to get rid of those mice. Then again, to feed the cat, he brought a cow to have milk. Then to take care of the cow, he brought a cow hand. And then again, to take care of the cow hand, he just got married and had a wife. Then again started a family. So see how eventually the man who himself wanted to get rid of the society started to grow a society by his own steps. So do you know the meaning of cowhand? Cowhand is the person who helps to take care of the cows for dairy productions or for milk producing and other stuffs. So here we can see that the man who wanted to get rid of the society starts the society by himself. So let's move on to the last of the story. So nobody can live alone unless that person is either an angel or a devil. People need food, shelter, companions, and help. They need to look after each other. And if they live in a family or community, their needs can be fulfilled. Hence, living in a society can make people good and happy citizens. So, at the end of the story, we got to know that a society is really important for us. Humans cannot live without a society. We may try to get rid of the social problems, but ultimately we need to find a companion, a friend, or someone who can help us in our daily life. And hence, society is the medium for us so that we can create a bond, so that where we can share, so that where we can get the solutions of our problems. So, did you know the meaning of companions? See, that means friends or fellow. And what do we mean by community? Community is more or less like a togetherness of people to make a society, right? So, ultimately, a human being needs a society to live in. There might be many kind of problems that are very difficult to handle with, but if we help each other, if we try to be with each other, if we try to share our problems, we may come to a solution very easily. This is how a society can run forward. This is how a society can flourish and develop. But neither a human or any other creature can live without their communities, can't live without their teams, without their companies. Also, there was a line that we have seen that either angel or devil. That means that person who wants to live alone needs a very selfish motive, or rather a very extreme selflessness, so that he or she might convince himself or herself to live alone. Otherwise, it's a very impossible task. So let's go to the questions we have in our textbook. The first question is, why did the young man leave his house? So, can you remember from the story? Why did the young man leave his house? Well, if we just go back to the very first para, then we can remember the young man left his house because he was having many problems and sufferings. He was very frustrated with the quarrels, ill feelings, jealousy, and enmity around him. Am I right? I hope you will find the answer by yourself too. Okay, so let's move to second question. Where did he make a hut? Where did he make a hut? Do you remember? Can we go again to the first para? You will see there have been mentioned that in the jungle he made a hut by himself with bamboo, woods and reeds. So let's move to the third question. Was the man happy in his heart? So was the man happy in his heart? You may think that he was not, but actually he was, because at the very first para we have seen him quoting that, how happy I am here. So at the very first place, the man was very happy to live by himself in the jungle in a hut, right? Okay, so let's move to the fourth question. How did he find himself again in a family? How did he find himself again in a family? You remember we have talked that how there were mice in his hut and how he wanted to get rid of those mice. So he bought a cat, and then to feed the cat he brought a cow, and to take care of the cow he brought a cowman, and to take care of the cow hand he married himself, and then there were children born to them. This is how he started in a family again, right? So you have to tell all these interconnections of incidents so that the person who have asked you this question can understand that how that person or how the man in the story starts his family again. So let us go for the next question, and that is, where and how can a person be happy? So see, we have already talked about it at the last portion of our story, that a person can be only happy in a society because that person just not only need food and shelter but also companions as well as help. People need to take care of each other to be happy. They might have problems in society, but they will have to help each other to get the solutions and get rid of the problems of the society. There, they can have a happy life. So, human can be happy in a society, right? Okay, so let's move on to the last question of the textbook. That is, what is the moral of the story? Do you understand what moral is? Moral is the learning from a story. You can read a lot of stories, and at the end of the story there is something that might provoke your thoughts or might make you to think a bit better or think a bit more about the incidents that have been narrated in a story. So the story you have read from your textbook might have helped you to understand that what this story wants to tell you, right? At the very last of the story, we have come to know that humans need society. Humans can't live without a society, without people. This is the moral of the story. We may get frustrated about the social problems we have around, but ultimately we will come and we will find our companions to share our problems. And thus the society will develop, or thus a human being himself can develop. So this is the moral of this story, that man cannot live alone. So as I have told you at the very first, that we will be learning to read a story. Also, we will be learning if humans are a social being. So see, we have already come to these conclusions. But another thing we have talked about, the interpretation of visual text. So can we interpret a photo, or can we interpret something fun or visualizing things in front of us? So let's see, let's start with ourselves. See, we have two photos in here. These are animated photos. So my question is, can you interpret the photos? Well, the first photo is very clear to us. See, there are some little kids sitting in their desk. They have books around. Also, they have a teacher who is pointing to the board, and also she has book in her hand. There is a board and the walls have notices and bookshelves. So I guess you can interpret that this is a classroom where students are learning, where students are being taught by their teacher. And to the very next photo by it, you can see there are four people. Two people are very younger and two people seem to be very elder. One is just cleaning the walls. Two people are cleaning the floor. The boy is cleaning the table. So probably that is a family of 4 people who are trying to clean their own home. So see, a visual thing or a photograph can also make some meaning to us, also can help us to understand something or to know something. So this can be called visual text. These photographs don't have any text in them, but we still can interpret them and we still can make a text out of them. So why we have done this? Because if you go to your textbook, there is a task E where you have so many photographs and also the text of it which may match with the photograph. So your homework will be to have this task done by yourself. Match the photographs with the given text. Also, there is another homework you should do for yourself. You have read the story, but do you think that you can be that man and try to live alone? The man couldn't be successful, but could you be? Could you actually live alone by yourself in a jungle? Put a thought on it. Yes? So, do you think that you can live alone? Yes or not? Why or why not then? Explain your answer. Give explanations to your answer. You can also make it see by your school teachers when the quarantine will over. Otherwise, you can also send your answers to us in the comment section or can mail us. So just be connected with us. Send us your answers so that we can understand that if you have thought about it, if you have made any conclusion about it, or if you have read the story even you can share any interesting stories just like this with us. So stay tuned. We will be coming with more videos for your learning. Thank you.